Good morning, everyone. This is your boy, Coach232 on Instagram, Bagley232 on YouTube. Just want to come to you. I'm here on an early Sunday morning. Nice little breeze blowing here in South Carolina. So I'm sitting out on my porch just chilling, reflecting on some things and just a little meditation, trying to get my mind a little quiet so I can proceed throughout the rest of my day. First things first, let me give a shout out to the hashtag MOTU Brethren, and we have some brothers in that group who are approaching 1,000 subs on YouTube. I want to shout them out. Y'all go check their content out, give them a sub, like the contents, comment, subscribe to their channels. We have the Red Pill Chauvinist, Lawrence D. Adams, Mr. Freeport, Professor MGTOW, and Grown Man Business. Y'all go check those brothers out, man. Watch their content. They got some fire, great content, and it's more geared toward becoming a well-rounded and a whole man, not just a man who gets lots of women. Y'all check those guys out, man. They got some great info, great insight. I've learned a whole lot from them four brothers, and I continue to learn from them every time I hear them speak. So go check their content, like their content, and subscribe to their channels. Help them get to 1K subs. Today, I want to talk about perspective. Perspective to me just simply means, how do I see things? How do I process things that either happen to me or that I'm going through, etc., etc. I was thinking about the old quote, I think it's like attitude is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I respond to it. And I think that's perfect definition of what perspective is. How do I see things that may have happened to me negatively, but even more, how do I see things when they happen to me positively? In some cases, things like pats on the back for the things that you do, or being held in high regard, whatever, can be detrimental to you. Just the same as things that happen to you in a negative fashion can be detrimental to you. It all comes down to perspective, what level of humility you have, what level of what your motives are for doing things. I think all that lends to having the proper perspective. Because, see, about 4 months ago, I took an L in this situation, and I remember beating myself up about that, because I made I guess I made some ill-timed moves with the situation, and I had to take an L, because, in life you have to take L's in some situations, but as the months went by, I could really see now that that L that I took was really a win, because I began to apply the proper perspective to it. And it's just like being a basketball coach, when I have kids that make a mistake, I tell them, learn from it and forget it and keep moving. That's some things that I've had to do, in my quest for self-improvement, and trying to become the best version of myself. Some things I just had to learn from it, forget it, and keep moving. You know, and perspective has a lot to do with that. You know, when something negative comes my way, how do I respond? How do I respond to that? Do I do the vicious cycle of blame, blaming others, then blaming myself, and get myself in a mode of thinking where I may not be good enough, or my self-esteem gets rocked a little bit, etc. And I have to understand that I now try to find the positive in everything. I try to find the positive in everything, and for me, that's been been a big key to my growth as a man. Because there's always positive in a situation, even though from the outset it was something that was negative, it was something that hurt, but really taking a good look at me first. Because see, it always comes back to me. Everything always comes down to me. And once I take that good look at myself and I look at my part in the situation that probably made it negative, I can regroup a little bit, change my thinking or adjust my thinking, and continue to walk with my head high, being the man that I want to be. So perspective is a hell of a thing. You know, it's kind of like, using a sports analogy, you're down 20 in a basketball game with about 3, 4 minutes left. You know, how do you see that? Do you see that as you already lost? Or do you see that you can, you know, get yourself back in the game in increments, use what you've been taught, to properly execute your offense, play better defense, and get yourself back in the game to put yourself in a position to win with maybe about a minute left and you're down 5. And that's what it's all about. You got to be able to put yourself in positions to win. And I can't say this enough. When you prioritize things in your life and you put things in, you properly prioritize things in your life, you can put yourself in position to win in a lot of areas, and it's crazy, the success you have in life is directly correlated to the position you play in your own life. Do you, well, like me, I used to put myself last in a lot of areas, like when it came to my sons and, the coaching, et cetera, and I found, now that I put myself first, in nearly every situation, things has worked better for me. I have a sense of purpose. I stay on my purpose, and I continue to improve daily. And I can truly say I have improved daily since being red pilled. So always understand that perspective is the one thing that you must have. And to take it a step further, you must have proper perspective in how you approach your life and the things that you do on a daily basis. So just remember, continue to look for the proper perspective in all areas of your life. And I can guarantee you that applying the proper perspective and seeing things the correct way or seeing things the way that they really need to be seen, because sometimes you just have to tell the truth about some shit, and tell yourself, I really fucked up. So how do I, correct that? It's just by not making the same stupid ass mistakes. Something like, my stepfather, God bless the dead, he always used to tell me, son, make new mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes over and over again, because that means you're not learning. But if you make new mistakes, you always have another opportunity to learn from it and better yourself as a person. And I've always remembered, that nugget that he gave me. So it's about making new mistakes today, because we're never going to be mistake free. Never. As much as we want to, we're not. So learn to apply the proper perspective in all areas of your life. If you are on a self-improvement mission or you're trying to become the best version of yourself, because it's real critical that you do that. So with that, I'm gonna end that particular topic, and just want to shout out some people, man. I want to shout out Afi Kingdom, the 4 gentlemen who I asked you all, to go check the videos out, and subscribe to the channels to help them get to 1K. And I want to shout out, another YouTuber, whose content that I think is real fire, and that's Mr. Limba channel. Y'all go check that brother out, man. That brother got some deep material that can, kind of change your life if you take it in and apply the proper perspective to it. It could really put you on a plane where you gain deeper knowledge about how things work in the world. So with that, I'm going to say peace, like, comment, and subscribe, and we catch you guys on the next drop. Peace.